Hi there again. I wanted to talk today a little bit about our pregnancy loss. So, if talking about miscarriage and pregnancy loss is a trigger for you, this may not be the video for you. However, I have found that it is therapeutic and helpful to talk about it. And it's one of those things that it is a horrible part of life, but it is a part of life. And so it's part of my story. So here I am to tell it. You'll have to forgive me. I'm waiting for my husband outside one of his appointments. And I was just feeling the mood to talk a little bit. It's been kind of an emotional day, and I just got out of therapy, and I just kind of wanted to share a little, about what I'm going through. So last year, July 2018, my husband and I found out that we were pregnant. It was kind of a surprise because we were not planning it, and we definitely weren't ready. We were in a pretty bad situation. We were somewhere where we did not have a stable or safe or healthy living scenario. Employment was kind of hit or miss, and it was just really one of the worst possible times. The only thing that could have been worse is maybe if we had a drug problem or, neither of us had jobs at the time. It was just unpredictable at that moment. So I got pregnant. I've always wanted to be a mom, and finding out that my dreams were coming true was incredibly exciting and terrifying. And my husband, he is the one that controls our finances, and he really is the overall responsible party. Not to say that we're not partners, but I fully, willingly, and totally give over a lot of the major choices and major things in our life over to him. He is much better at it. He is a little bit smarter, and he really likes managing all of the big things. And I don't as much. I'm more of the gypsy, free spirit individual of the two of us, which makes a nice balance. Back on track. We found out we were pregnant. He was freaking out. He was very stressed, and kind of in that whole panic, what are we going to do? I know that we're never ready, or nobody's ever ready, but we are nowhere near to even kind of pretending that we're ready. But we went with it, and we started going to all of our prenatals. We went to the doctor. We started doing all of everything we were supposed to do. I stopped drinking caffeine. I stopped drinking cold meats, and I stopped drinking anything that could be potentially harmful. Any tea was out. I went full crazy mode, soft cheese. Didn't care if it was pasteurized or not, even though soft cheese is okay if it's pasteurized milk. Nope, it was off the menu, wasn't doing it. I went into full-blown crazy mode to make sure that I was doing everything right for my baby. And we got our ultrasounds, and we saw our little alien face, which is just the cutest friggin' little thing. Straight up looked like a little baby alien skull. Oh, it was adorable. My husband made lots of jokes about being disappointed that it wasn't going to keep its tail, because he's like, it needs to have a fully functioning prehensile tail. That's absolutely required. And I went, babe, that's not going to happen, and it's going to be a weird, gnarly, like a naked, gross prehensile tail, not a cool, like, monkey tail. And he's like, that's unacceptable. I need a re-roll. But we joked, and we started getting excited, and we started talking about names, and we had narrowed it down to about 3 different options, and we were so excited. And I went in for my 14-week prenatal exam, and about 2 weeks before, there had been some cramping and bleeding, and I had left work early. I closed down the store where I worked, and we closed it early, and I said, I need to go to the hospital because something doesn't feel right. So I went into the hospital. I was about 30 pounds heavier than I am now. Actually, maybe more than that. Give or take 30, 35 pounds heavier. I'd already lost a bunch of weight, but I was still heavier, and I still have more progress to go, but I was 30 pounds heavier. So when they did the ultrasound at the hospital, they had trouble finding a heartbeat because they just couldn't get through all of me. And for me, that was horrible and painful. Because there was literally too much of me in the way to hear my baby's heartbeat. They couldn't find a heartbeat, but they saw him moving around. So the hospital in the middle of the night just kind of went, well, we can see him moving, so everything is fine. And just talk to your doctor in 2 weeks when it's time to check up. Well, we did. In my 14-week, I went in by myself. I didn't go with my husband because I was confident that everything's going to be okay. It's all good. I'd started to feel what felt like little butterflies in my tummy. And I've been told that that is the precursor signs to movement and kicks. So I was very excited to see his little face again. We had gotten a test to determine his gender, the non-invasive, I think Harmony test was the brand we went with. And when my OB did the scan, there was no heartbeat. And there was no movement. And my little boy, who in every other scan that we'd had, it was just a kicking away and the most active, crazy little bouncing off the wall baby that I could ever have imagined. He was still. And that moment just broke my heart. Because there's nothing you can do. Once they're gone, they are gone. And it was horrifying. And I just felt guilt. I felt like it was my fault because my body betrayed me. Obviously, I had one job, and that was to raise and take care of my baby. And that was to bring my baby safely into the world. And I failed. Rationally, I know that's not the truth. I know that there's like a 33% chance of miscarriage in any pregnancy. And I know that these things happen. We were doing everything right. We were taking precautions everywhere. I was avoiding all of my weird aversions, of which I had a bizarre aversion to sausage for no reason whatsoever. And I just, it didn't matter. And it was over. My doctor was amazing, and he gave me the option of inducing labor or doing a D&C. And I could not do induced labor. There was no way that I was going to be able to give birth to my son, who was about 14 weeks old at the time, and I could not let that be my first birth experience. That would have ruined me. That would have broken my spirit and my soul. And I don't know if I could have recovered from that. So I said, let us, say our goodbyes and put me under to remove him, and then we will mourn from there. And it was hard. My husband cried. He'd finally kind of gotten on board and started getting excited. It was painful. It was incredibly painful. And it's nothing that I would wish upon my worst enemy, because losing the life that you are carrying, that you're building, you're nurturing them from the very, very beginning building blocks of their life, to lose them it's horrible. It's a horrible punishment. But these things happen. And as horrible as they are, they give us experience. And they allow us to connect with the humans around us. And they allow us to be there and be a sounding board. And one of the things that I found is I was open with my pregnancy. I was open with every part of it, including when we lost him. I shared every part of it, which was hard, and some people didn't quite know how to handle that, so I stepped back from them and I tried not to push it onto them. But what I found is that people came out of the woodwork that had all experienced something similar. Almost all of my female friends on Facebook, on Instagram, everybody was just letting me know, we went through this and we know how hard it is, and we're here if you need to talk. And that was amazing to me, that in this moment of absolute misery and sorrow and grief and one of the most horrible moments of my life, there were people that were reaching out that I barely spoke with, that knew what I was going through. And for me, that was amazing. And I wanted to be somebody that was there for everybody else as well, that I could help, that I could just be a voice so that you know that you're not alone. So that is I think I did good. I didn't cry. That is my video for today. A little long, kind of a downer. Sorry about that. But it is now late June 2019, and we have some good news on the way. So if you want to hang in there a little bit, we have something good to share with you in a couple of our next videos. So thank you for listening. I appreciate you, and I just want you to know you are not alone. Thanks for watching.